cargo bikes are great, but they can be really expensive. So today we're going on an adventure to find out what is the least amount of money we can spend on a good cargo bike. And we're going to start today at a hockey club in the Netherlands on a Saturday morning, which is prime cargo bike spotting time. So you want to buy a cargo bike, you don't want to spend €5,000, so you look at a second-hand cargo bike. But even second-hand cargo bikes can be really expensive. So today we're going to do an experiment to find out what's the cheapest cargo bike, which is still okay. And I think I found a really good one. And this is it, my new Bakfiets, which cost me €75. €75. So here it is. We haven't given her a name yet, but we'll think of one. I just picked this up from a really lovely lady called Yanka, who has had this bike since 2010, so 15 years old. She bought it new for about €1,500, and today I picked it up 15 years later for 75, and I've already rode it for a few hundred meters. And it's great. So let's have a good look at it. We've got the front, and with lots of cobwebs. Has been used, but it's also been sat in a shed for quite a while as well. But it did ride to Utrecht yesterday. It did ride to Utrecht last week. And we've got traditional brakes on the front, drum brakes on cars we'd call them. They work fine. We've got some tyres which I think they've seen better days, but also they look absolutely fine. They're not dry rotted or anything, they look great. We've got a bit of rust around here, the headset tube, but again nothing you wouldn't expect of a bike this old. These joints are fine. Now the box on the Bakfiets is always where you will see wear and tear. These edges always get worn. But still, I mean, it's in better condition than mine is, and mine's only 5 years old, to be honest. Original sticker, which is always nice to see. Looking at the handlebars, we need a new gear unit here, a new Nexus, what is it, 5 or 7? Probably a 5. We need a new one of these. But really, everything is absolutely fine. The brakes are working great. Looking at the back here, the paint's all gone here, but that's again totally expected off a bike this age, especially around here on a Bakfiets. They always go around here. Pedals, probably the original pedals, and they're fine. The chain, you can see that rust in there. I think we might need a new chain, but that's something we'll take care of. But really, there's absolutely nothing on this bike, which is a huge cause for concern. Absolutely fine. If you're wondering where I am, by the way, I'm at an old airfield just outside Utrecht, which used to be a military airfield. Now it's a park and a museum. That's really cool. And it's making this old hangar is making a great stand for my new cargo bike. So I think I got an absolute steal. It's €75 for this. People just don't want Bakfiets. People don't want an old Bakfiets. And I think there's some interesting things around why. I think firstly, they're kind of unusual and hard to work on. They're big, they take up a lot of work, they're hard to transport around. So if you've got a Bakfiets which isn't rideable and you need to move it from one place to another, that's quite hard work. If you're not handy, you can't do it yourself. You've got to find a bike shop that's going to work on it for you. And that's hard. A lot of bike shops don't want to work on Bakfiets, even in the Netherlands. They're too big, they're too hard to move around, they'd take too much space in the workshop. And also, if you do have a Bakfiets, even if you can work on it yourself, the parts are really expensive. So if you don't have access to parts, like I don't, then it's quite an expensive undertaking to like fully renovate an old Bakfiets, even if it's absolutely sound, like the mechanics are sound and the frame is sound. By the time you've got maybe a new gear hub, you've got some new brakes on it, tyres, saddle, you're probably already at what the bike is worth. So it's understandable why people don't want to buy these bikes. And I think that's a real shame. Because I think that's a real shame, because I think they're great bikes. Like Bakfiets have been making this model of bike now for almost, I think, 30 years. And there's a reason. They're great. They're easy to ride. They're easy to learn. They're very simple. Like once you've learned how to work on them, they're very simple. So here's the plan. It's about a 10-kilometre ride back to my house. I'm going to do a few things on this just to make it a bit more comfortable. I'm going to put some air in the tyres, make sure that some bolts are tight before I go. But then we're going to just ride it and see what's working, what's not working. And when we get back, we'll have a chat about what we're going to do with it. Are we going to renovate it? Are we just going to use it as it is? Are we going to sell it? Are we going to give it away? What are we going to do with it? But first things first, let's pump the air in the tyres and see if there's anything else which really needs fixing before we ride it for half an hour. Well, I started to repair the bike, and then a bride came to have her wedding photos taken, so I thought it was probably best I skedaddle. But I got everything important done. I blew out the tyres, checked there was nothing loose, and yeah, it's fine. So, gonna put my phone down, gonna get my maps out, because I'm not entirely sure where I'm going. And yeah, I'll check in a few kilometres and see how we're getting on. A really cool place. It used to be an airfield, and now, as you can see, it's a park, which is super popular with people doing road biking and walking and kite flying. I love these kinds of parks. I also really love Tempelhof in Berlin, which is the same kind of vibe. It used to be an airport and now it's a park. It's really nice to have one so close to home. So we've just joined the runway, and what a fantastic day. I am in love with this bike. So, update from the Bakfiets. It's slow. I think I've been very spoiled with my electric Bakfiets. I'm used to cruising along 25 kilometers an hour, and I think I'm currently managing maybe 6 or 7. I think that definitely needs a new chain. Probably service the gear hub because it feels pretty clanky. But we're going. I've discovered we've got a 7-speed gear hub, which is great. But unfortunately, I think the chain is kind of spoiling that performance a little bit. But other than that, everything's fine. So, we're off the airfield now, obviously, and we're about halfway home. Everything's going pretty well, still. So I remembered, this isn't actually the first time I brought a Bakfiets off Marktplatz and cycled it a long way. without owning it before. Our first Bakfiets we brought when we moved to the Netherlands, I brought online without seeing it from a town called Vesp, just near Amsterdam. And I paid €500 for it, and it was in much worse condition than the one I'm currently riding. And I spent about €500 on parts fixing it, and then sold it for €300. So let's not make that mistake again. So I'm nearly home, so I thought this might be a good opportunity to talk about what we got for our money, talk about what's good, what's not good, and talk about what we might do next. So what did we get? Well, for €75 we got a perfectly functional Bakfiets. Does it have some problems? Yeah, it does. Anything we can't fix? Absolutely not. We got an absolute bargain, which I'm so happy with. I think what we might do with this bike is see what's the least we can do to get a fully functioning Bakfiets. So my instinct would be to fix everything, tear everything apart, strip it all down, replace everything with new bearings, new everything. But I think for this, let's see what is the least we need to do to get this absolutely working perfectly. One thing that is missing is a kickstand, which is why in this video you've seen the bike not standing up on its own. There's normally a big kickstand underneath the box, and this has disappeared. So, and they are about €100 new. So we're gonna have to think of something to solve that problem. But I think that, apart from that, I think we're good to go. So, thank you for watching. Stay tuned to see what comes next. You can follow the newsletter at cargobikeculture.com and sign up for our weekly newsletter, which comes every Friday. Or say subscribe to this channel, and I'll be doing the update videos for this bike and other cargo bike things every now and then. Thank you so much for watching. Well, as you might be able to hear, things aren't going great. I'm not sure what's happening, but a sound has begun developing from the crankset, which I just hope holds out another few kilometers so I don't have to walk home.